Hello and welcome back to another episode of Retro Alliance Gaming. Look who we have here today. Look at the baby Butters. Say hi, Butters. You gonna say hi to everyone, or you just gonna stare at me? Is it because you want kisses?
She wants kisses.
You want kisses?
She wants kisses.
This is Fat Butters, and she is gonna be the first cat to ever be the admin of a video game group, Gamers Attic. Check out this little cute baby. Come say hi to the camera. Let's go for a walk.
I'm gonna punch you.
Boop. Yes, okay, I'm sorry, Betty, go ahead. Anyways, guys, how are you all doing today? So, I'm kind of going ahead and doing an impromptu video. You know, sometimes I'll write ideas down, write it out, or at least some general bullet points. But in this case, I'm definitely going ahead and going impromptu. You okay with that, Butters? Yeah? I wonder if they can even see you. Butters seems okay with it. So, anyways, let's move forward. So, I was on the computer and I was noticing some upcoming Dreamcast games that are coming out, and I was looking at the ones that I have currently, and it got me thinking. I wanted to talk to you guys about current Dreamcast games that are coming out that you may or may not know about that you're probably going to want to support. Maybe talk a little bit about some games I already have and just some general ideas behind it. So to go ahead and start out, I have a lot of Dreamcast videos that I want to make that I haven't even put on the channel since it's like my favorite system of all time. But the Dreamcast, as everybody knows, is a truly miraculous system. It is literally the system that does not ever die, nor will it ever die. You know, back in the day when it came out, it was going head-to-head against the PlayStation, and unfortunately, marketing commercial wise, it lost that battle. It came out, there was a huge deal with the DVDs, and there's a lot of things behind it, but that would be another video altogether. And it got canceled early in America, and it stayed around a lot longer in Japan. But since the time that it came out till now, I feel like the popularity of it and the system in general has grown to a huge level. I think it has surpassed the PS2 in every possible way with how people feel about it, their passions, how much they love this console. And one thing that I find absolutely amazing is it is 2018 and I can literally look at a computer and see like 8 or 9 games that are coming out for it, or games that are planned coming out for it. And one thing that I was looking at in particular that really excited me was I was looking at a game called Saber Riders. We'll talk about more in a minute, but Saber Riders is this brand new awesome game. I believe was based off of an 80s cartoon, and originally, I guess we're just going to go right into it. Originally, they created a game for it. They had a basic build, and I don't know, I can't remember what system this was for. I believe this was back in the 90s, or actually, or maybe 2000s. I should probably have investigated that more, but basically, the game never got finished, and I guess the company wants to go back and make it. I'm not sure whether they bought all the rights to it or some of the same people from the show, but they decided to go balls to the wall and just go for it. This game, what amazes me about it, and a lot of other games that I can mention here today, is that it is it's not just a game that's coming out on the Dreamcast in 2018. That's amazing in and of itself. But it is a multi-platform game, and it is coming to, I believe, the Nintendo Switch, PC, and the Dreamcast. Kind of like another game I have down here. Let me grab it right here. Pure Solar and the Great Architects. This game came to, I believe, the Wii U, PlayStation 4, possibly Xbox, and Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was the only one to get an actual physical copy of the game, but just think about that logically. A system that came out in 1998 in Japan, 99 in America, that was pretty much done before 2002. Now, this many years later, I mean, we're going on since it came out about 20 years or so, there are games coming out for the system that are coming out for current platforms, and that, to me, is fucking insane. That is amazing, and it is just showing the longevity and the love of the system. Are there games being made for other systems? Absolutely. I love the fact that we have games coming out for other systems, even some on the Atari Jaguar, but when it comes to the Dreamcast, it is kind of on a whole nother level, And it really, really warms my heart, and it's amazing that, again, nowadays we're getting stuff like this. And not to mention the fact that if somebody's like, hey, have you played Pure Solar? Yeah, what are you playing it on? Oh, the Wii U, PS4. I'm like, oh, I have a physical copy. They came out with a physical copy? They sure as hell did, and it's right here on the Dreamcast, and it's just so crazy to be able to say something like that. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about. And, that, again, shows the longevity of the system. At any given point, I swear to God, every month I'll look it up and there is some new developer who's trying to come up with some new game. And you get a plethora of games. You have everything from some games that are more simplistic, like Alice's Mom's Rescue, okay, which this was a game developed by one guy on iOS, okay, that was it. It is a very, very indie game, and it is actually quite unique. It's a puzzle platformer, and it's amazing. And we get these little releases. It didn't even cost me much to get this. I think I spent like maybe $30, and it comes with the soundtrack and everything else, and it was put out by QCast Games. So you will get everything from these small releases like this. And then you have ports that are being made, which I'm going to explain to you in a minute, and then you have bigger games, like ones that are being kickstarted or have a much bigger goal in mind and funds and a team of people, and they are incredibly impressive. Like I said, there is Pure Solar, which originally came out for the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive, a huge epic RPG, that took a lot of time and a lot of money and love and blood poured into this thing. They get creepy on it, and these are huge deals. There's games like Stormwind. Stormwind is brilliant. This is a absolutely brilliant shmup, and I normally play bullet hell Japanese games, but in my opinion, this is one of the best shmups that I've ever personally played, I think. I mean, I love it as much as I love all these games out there, Gunbird and Mars Matrix and everything, but the most impressive thing about this is there isn't even a shmup that came out when the system was in development that looks as good as this. This game literally shows off what the Dreamcast can do with giant bosses. It is beautiful. So you have this huge variety of these games that are coming out. And again, smaller team stuff like Wind and Water Battles, right here, which is a puzzle game with a storyline. And right now you could actually buy this game. It's available and it's only like $15. It is a brilliant, beautiful game. So there's a lot of stuff coming out. These are just real quick a small collection of some of the games that I have already. Other than Gunlord, yeah, Gunlord, which I also have. Redux, Dark Matter, things like that. But just these right here: Wind and Water Battles, Stormwind, Pure Solar, Alice's Mom's Rescue, and a recent one that I was able to obtain called Fast Striker, a beautiful bullet hell game, which just got re-released recently, which is great because I couldn't buy it for scalper prices. Those I don't buy from scalpers. It's ridiculous. Even if I had the money, I would not. Anyways, so going into this, there's a lot of them. One complaint that people would make sometimes is they'd be like, why does everything have to be a shmup? Well, I didn't care. As long as there was a game coming to the Dreamcast, I was excited, and shmups were my favorite genre. But I get what people are saying. They want to see other stuff, and that's why we started getting platformers, and we got Pure Solar, which is an RPG. And now there is more and more and more games coming. I mean, we're starting to get, shoot even further ahead to have basically every kind of game we can on there. We're even getting ports. There is I believe it's Josh Prod, and they did, I hope I'm getting this right, and they did ports of games like Flashback, for example, and they added all these different modes to it where you can try out all the different style graphics in a Dreamcast only mode. So we're getting ports that we never got over to the Dreamcast. So there's a lot of life in that little machine, a lot of love and a lot of passion. That being said, since obviously the video is about upcoming games, maybe I should get to the fucking point already, right? So going from there, a couple things I wanted to mention on games that I'm personally excited about and games that I found out about. I'm going to be going back and forth. I have my computer here. Again, this is an impromptu. There's the Saber Riders and the Star Sheriffs, which I mentioned to you. It is a beautiful game. It's a mix between 2D run and gun and how do you say, a pseudo 3D games, mode 7 style games, kind of like we're on a Super Nintendo. This game is not only, again, coming to the Dreamcast, but it will be coming to the Switch and PC, and for all we know, maybe more in the future. If you're interested in it, just punch in Saber Riders, or Star Sheriffs and Saber Riders, I believe, specifically what it's called, You can back them on Kickstarter. I'll put a link below, and whenever it comes out, you can pre-order it or possibly buy one after it's out, which is what I'm probably going to do with that particular game. Another game, and I should have it in one corner where you're seeing gameplay of these, make it a little more interesting so you don't have to stare at this ugly mug the whole time, even though I have this beautiful, sexy face. What? You don't think I'm cute? You don't think I'm sexy? What the fuck you been with me for 7 years? Huh? Okay, sorry. Anyway, so what was I saying now? Jesus Christ! I got distracted by my pecs. This is terrible. This is a terrible video. What am I doing? Okay, moving forward. There's another game. I'll have up in the corner. Called Intrepid Izzy. The game I was following originally is on Kickstarter. The guy said he's planning on having it finished by the end of 2018. This is the game you can pre-order or purchase in several locations, but one of them being the Bit Station, which I'm also going to post below. This game looks freaking amazing. Why am I saying freaking? It looks fucking amazing. This game is like...
I think you got used to being censored on your group.
Yeah, because our group we're not supposed to curse, but I'm cursing here. But it looks literally amazing. It is a platformer, yes, but it isn't so simple like Alice in Mom's Rescue, which is an amazing game and you should pick up. This was on a bigger scope. This game... I don't even know how to explain to you other than you watching the trailer in the corner. The animations on all the characters are breathtaking. It is something that you would see indie games modern now on PS4. The colors they use on it, the effects they're using on the game, it looks so amazing. Everything is so fluid and hand-drawn and perfect. And this is a game I am very much looking forward to. I know it's coming to the Dreamcast. I believe it's coming to the PC, and I am not sure about the other multi-platforms it's coming to, but I know there's some other platforms. There's not a lot that we know about the game, but there is a demo that you can get up and see running if this interests you. Again, I've had the games playing in the corner, so you've been able to see all of them if it interests you. But it looks like it's going to be an amazing game. It's supposed to have something crazy like over 24 levels, maybe even higher than that. And just lots of beautiful detail to it. It's something I would highly recommend that you guys go and check out. Intrepid Izzy. Back it on Kickstarter if you can, and if not, again, you can find it at the Bit Station later on and a lot of other places. I wish I had a little bit more detail, like bullet points about what all is going to be included in this game, but I don't want the video to go on for 40 years, and also, again, this was impromptu. Those are two games I'm very much looking forward to. Recently announced, actually on March 19th, so this is immediately, there's a game called Battle Crust. Now that just sounds funny to me, by the way, the name Battle Crust.
Band name should be Battle Crust.
It should be Battle Crust. That sounds like fucking metal, right? We are Battle Crust. But Battle Crust, it's Josh Prod, and it says here the publishing behind the last year's PAL Design Dreamcast games is continuing into 2018 with another announced shoot 'em up for the system called Battle Crust. Upon some quick research of the title, we found it to have been released in 2016 on Steam originally. It's a 90s inspired shooter featuring 6 levels in which you're able to pick up assist items on your way to help your mission, such as charge mode. It looks like a fun little shmup, something you should check out. There is a teaser on Josh Prod's Facebook page. That's JOSHPROD''S. One that's right there. There's another game, I believe, coming out, and I'm trying to see which one it is. Oh, so there's another port that they're doing, apparently, of a game called 40 Winks. 40 Winks, I believe, originally came out for the PlayStation 1 and the Nintendo 64. Well, basically, they're going to marry it together. They're taking stuff from the PS1 and stuff from the from the Nintendo 64, such as the multiplayer aspect, which wasn't in the PS1 version. It is a 3D platformer in the vein of Banjo-Kazooie, things like that. It is coming out. It looks really amazing, and to get a port of this game on our Dreamcast nowadays is a really exciting prospect, and I absolutely can't wait to see it. They said these guys have worked on Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Atari Jaguar, and many other systems, bringing unreleased games and re-released software back from the dead. This marks the first time they're potentially working with the Dreamcast, but it's not their first time crowdfunding. It says that you may remember the Super Nintendo 4-in-1 cartridge from 2012-13, which was successful and released in a timely fashion. So these are guys you're definitely going to want to go ahead and check out, and I'll try to put as many links below as I can for this particular game. Other things that are that I've heard of. This isn't actually an unreleased game, but something you guys might want to know about. Is there's a game called I can't even pronounce this one, honey. Can you pronounce it? Augusta? Blah, blah, I can't say this.
Agartha?
Agartha, is that what it is? Agartha. Okay. There was a game that was supposed to come out called Agartha. I'm going to put the video in the corner too so you can see this. This game was a survival horror game that was actually shown off at E3, I believe, in 2000, and it looked amazing. You were basically this guy, and all we know is here in the mountains, all this snow, kind of like D2, and it was looking to be a really fascinating, creepy game, and unfortunately, after the game was announced, it never came out. Well, lo and behold, years and years and years later, people wondered if there was a copy of this, if there's something around that would pop up. Well, there's not a copy of the full game because it was never finished, but there is definitely a copy of the demo that was found that is being released. I don't think it is yet. You should check it out. It is spelled Agartha, and it is a current, upcoming free release for be able to get to play the demo and kind of see what would have been with this game. You should really look it up and go in more details. It looks absolutely creepy and something that I would love to have had my hands on back in the day. Those are pretty much the games I was thinking that I want to mention. I was trying to see if there was anything else that I want to point out, but basically those are some of the games I'm looking forward to. I got them very high on my list. Just so you know, there's a lot more games that are, there's other games that are in development right now, other ones being crowdfunded, and I'll probably do a part 2 to the video or continue on. One game I did want to talk about at the very end is all these beautiful games and all these things that I've shown you guys, all this beautiful stuff. You got to realize that these people put a lot of passion, a lot of love, and a lot of hard work, and they have to do this all by themselves. They don't have huge studios behind them. Now, the reason why I bring this up is crowdfunding is either a great thing or a bad thing. Now, from what I've dealt with, I have not had a problem with it yet personally, but I know there's some bad ones out there. People need to realize that some of these games will come out fast on a timely manner. They really will. And some of them will be delayed. I mean, even Shenmue 3 is being delayed a bit to make it perfect. But for these smaller games that have less money, I think people need to understand that when you are backing these games, you can't wait for them to come out, but you're supporting the Dreamcast, you're supporting the community, you're supporting people saying, hey, we want these games. And it isn't always going to be perfect. They are going to take extra time, and there are going to be delays. I mean, one game, I mean, there's some things out there that, you question, are you going to get it or are you not? And, I don't want to go too much into this. I'll do a video for it later, but Elysian Shadows. Elysian Shadows, if you don't know about it, is a absolutely beautiful, epic scoped RPG that being made by a team of some of the most passionate people I've ever seen in my life. They've been working on this engine for the game since they were, I think, they're like 14 years old, maybe, and they've been going on and on. They had a Kickstarter, they raised money, and they worked on it, and they did come across some problems. I backed the game fully, and I'm still in touch, and it is kind of right now kind of floating in a delay where we don't actually have any kind of release date, but it's something that you should also check out too. So there's going to be issues, there's going to be things that are going to pop up. It depends on the scope of the game, how big it is, and just one thing I want to say is try not to let any of the bad stuff affect any of the good stuff, because realize that most of these companies and people putting out these games, it is their goal and their passion to bring us a finished product, and sometimes you just got to give them some patience and not always assume the worst of some of these companies. Anyways, guys, is there any games that I didn't mention that are coming out for the Dreamcast that you want to point out below? Please let me know. There's some other games I wanted to talk about, like this weird horror game, I can't remember what it's called, that had a mix between Slender Man and Salad Fingers in it, but I can't remember what it's called.
Salad Man.
Salad Man. It looked really great to me. My SD card was full and it cut out, but I have enough room now. So what I was trying to say was goodbye to you guys, so I decided to bring little baby Butters into it. So anyways, any comments, any questions, you like the video, you think I'm an asshole, you don't like my eyeliners, you want to make love to me, well, you got to talk to the person behind the camera because she might get pissed.
No.
Either way, leave a comment below, leave a like, and as always, Butters, what are we going to say? What are we going to say? I don't have the controller either. Oh, here it is. As always, my friends, until next time. Oh God, it's not stopping.